Hello and welcome to what will be the Join Dota League Season 4 here on HeflaTV 2. I'm Grandis V, and for this game number 2, I will be joined by Mike Loris.
Hey, it's a little bit late, but you know what they say, better late than never. And hopefully this game is going to be, well, I mean, a little more methodical. Whoa. Okay, my screen was just like completely bugged out there, but we're good. Just going straight pushing to punish a Medusa is something that I think we should be seeing a lot more of. If teams are going to be willing to pick up that hyper carry, then teams should also be willing to punish it accordingly.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I thought the team would have been able to get off to a better start. Like, their laning phase worked wonderfully for them. But once the snowballs started rolling for Together We Did It, they couldn't stop it at all. There was very little counter push on their supports, and Medusa could do nothing.
And that's just the type of hero she is. She needs a lot of space, and if you get heroes such as the Death Prophet in order to apply that pressure early on, then you're going to be able to, get the towers and then snowball that into more towers. And I think if team don't pick up or don't ban out the Death Prophet in their second ban now, they will be walking into a very messy situation.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Both of the teams have kind of adapted to the bans. It's actually very weird to see Spectre first banned. I'm not sure if I think that Spectre is worthy of this first ban slot. As a hero, if you pick it up this early, it is very easily punished. And Abaddon, ooh, I definitely think Death Prophet's scarier, but maybe the scarier of the two is going to be the Terrorblade. Left through the pool, Together We Did It are going to snag up that hero.
Yeah, do see mostly the first pick S plus tier heroes getting through the pool, given that team are just going to strictly counterpick what Together We Did It are more willing to pick up given game number one. It's a decent way to go, but of course that does mean that you're going to let those really top tier heroes get through. So Brewmaster, Scarith Mage, Death Prophet, Razor, all these heroes are available for team, and it's going to be a Terrorblade first pick for Together We Did It. Maybe they're going to be on the receiving end of what they just delivered to the opposition.
Yeah, it's definitely an option. I'd like to see team just snag up the Scarith Mage and the Death Prophet, or Brewmaster Death Prophet. Any combination of those heroes, I think you can't really go wrong. Brewmaster Scarith Mage is going to be the choice.
Yeah, that's also a good combination. They'll have a nice support hero, high burst damage in order to deal with the Terrorblade. One of, if not the best supports at actually killing off the hero, denying him Sunder, and also killing him in the Mystic Flare is going to be golden. Actually, it was like during the something. I heard someone say that Zeus should be picked up more against Terrorblade, and I think that would be fantastic, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
I'd love to see more Zeus. I think he, I don't know, kind of fits in right now. Although, as a hero, he only offers damage and not much more utility unless you build items for it. I don't know, I think he deserves more play than we've been seeing, especially with squishy heroes like the Terrorblade, and, I don't know, even the Spectre, some fairly late game centric heroes that will really struggle when that magic damage hits the fan, and Zeus comes online fairly early on. Once you get that level 6 and maxed out Thunderbolt, you can start ganking very effectively. I'd love to see the hero. But for now, it's going to be Together We Did It, taking their time with this next pickup. Maybe considering going for the Death Prophet themselves?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a powerful hero. Nothing that team have is going to dissuade Together We Did It from going for that hero, although it is going to be a Tidehunter. I think I would rather like to see the Death Prophet here. I mean, Tidehunter is a good hero and everything. He's not that great versus Scarith Mage Silence, and Death Prophet, granted, she's not that good against it either, but she does have Yule Scepter, and that will generally be able to keep her out of harm's way when Dispel the Silence. So it's a decent pickup for Together We Did It, but I think there could be a better pickup in the DP.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird to see Tidehunter first picked, or rather second picked in the first stage, rather. After being completely ignored in game number 1, I would have thought it fit nicely in either of the teams' lineup, but I don't know. It's not going to be the case. The next band's coming out from Together We Did It. They're going to take out the Faceless Void and the Sand King. Although Faceless Void and Brewmaster on the same team is a little bit wonky, the Scarlet Mage and the Faceless Void synergy cannot be ignored, and also being able to lock down and burst down a Terrorblade without his access to Sunder is going to be a nice tool for them, so I can definitely understand the ban. And Death Prophet, as expected, is taken out in the second stage by Team.
So it looks like both sides are going to be kind of competing with each other for getting the team fight dominance versus the Brewmaster and Tidehunter. It's going to be so far a little bit close. Together We Did It going to take out a lot of initiators with the Faceless Void and the Sand King. Right now the initiation is kind of light on either side. I think for team they should be looking towards something like a Centaur. Again, another punishing hero for the Terrorblade, able to dish out a lot of damage very quickly. and also it's able to start fights or start small scale engagements. It should be what they're looking to do. Aside from that, a random blink clap split is decent, a random ravage is decent, but you really want to have a little bit more control, or ideally you would like to have more control about who you initiate on.
Yeah, I think that's fair right now. It's Team considering their ban, as well as presumably their next pick. I'd like to see the Centaur for them. But as far as what they don't want, Together We Did It to get their hands onto, Earthshaker would be a decent support for them, although it would leave them fairly melee heavy, and they might shy away from it because of it. A Witch Doctor would also be a pretty solid pick and or ban in this stage. Would synergize well with the Tidehunter, as well as some decent sustain for the Terrorblade and the subsequent push. Yeah, not sure what your thoughts are on that.
I think the Witch Doctor is got to be in consideration right here. You could also go for something like an Ancient Apparition, go along those lines. If you're, if you're Together We Did It, you're going to want to be picking up those heroes. So Team are going to be wanting to ban out those heroes. They're going to choose to actually ban the Shaker instead of picking it. I think there isn't much threat of the Shaker from Together We Did It. That would have been a little bit too melee heavy for a team to walk into, but for Team it would have been perfect. Like Shaker Scarith Mage is very reasonable.
Yeah, definitely. One of the better support combinations in my opinion, but they're going to go for the Elder Titan. It's another way of dealing with the Terrorblade. Taking away his base armor makes it really easy to burst him down with physical damage, although right now Team don't really have any spells to back that up. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with this Elder Titan pick. It's nice in theory, and it's going to amplify the Scarith Mage's damage through the roof as well. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be able to put enough pressure early on. I would have liked to see the Centaur as their offlane pick.
In theory, you could, do a lot of damage to the Terrorblade, but in order to do that damage, you actually have to close the distance. And that's where I think Team are going to fall a little bit short. They need some stuns, because right now, they don't really have any. Kind of the pseudo stun sleep from the Elder Titan, the Brewmaster Rock later on, but, dealing damage to someone is fine, but you have to lock them down first. And that should be their secondary support, but with Sand King Shaker already out of the pool, the pool for stunning heroes that are going to be able to set up on a large scale is getting a little bit thinner. As Together We Did It, well, they pick up a Lich. They want to make sure that they have a pseudo counter to the natural order. If you just buff out the armor with ice, then you should be pretty physical resistant, even though you're going to lose most of it to natural order.
It's going to be a Keeper of the Light for Team. I despise this pick. I think that they really need a lot more teamfight control, and right now, this Terrorblade is going to be able to pretty consistently get off his ultimate, as well as do a decent amount of damage. Despite the burst potential coming out from Team, really it's only the Brewmaster to jump on top of the Terrorblade, and they just don't have any control for him inside the team fights. Team, it looks like they're kind of angling towards a more split push heavy last pick, and I'm not sure what that's going to be, or if that's going to really help them. I think Keeper of Light's a little bit of miss in this lineup coming out from Team.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, again, the damage is certainly very nice. They could do a lot of it, but Keeper of the Light is not going to be counter-pushing anything in this game. Together We Did It are going for pretty much full-on team fight, covering the Terrorblade. I'm inclined to think that Team are going to be picking up a Medusa last, right after a Star Ladder. It's been a combo. It's pretty narrow, I think, and I don't really think it's worth picking up or worth utilizing when you could just as easily go for different heroes to get the same effect. But it could be that, it could be just global power with the Nature's Prophet. Unfortunately, there's no Lancer in CM, so we can't see that. But Together We Did It. I mean, they have a much safer lineup. They have their two supports, low roaming supports, very defensive and Disruptor and Lich. But really, that's their goal right now. Just sit back and farm with the Terrorblade.
Yeah, although Tidehunter is probably going to be zoned out of the offlane fairly effectively, so is the Elder Titan, and the kill potential on Terrorblade is very limited. We're looking for a fairly passive game. Ember Spirit, the last ban from Team, is actually fairly interesting. They are presumably looking for that mid-hero, but I'm not sure if Ember Spirit would have been their choice. I don't know. It just feels a little bit awkward to me.
10 seconds to go.
Anti-Mage is the last ban.
The Ember Spirit would have been pretty decent for Together We Did It. I mean, there is, again, not much lockdown for Team, so any sort of disables that you can, or any sort of mobility heroes you could pick up if you're Together We Did It, is going to be incredibly useful. Ember Spirit would have been one of them, though they could still go for something a little bit greedier along the lines of a Morphling or a Weaver and slap that in the mid lane. Since Team's mid lane, it's Brewmaster. It's certainly a powerful mid lane hero, but there are heroes that you could put up against the Brewmaster and not get absolutely crushed and have, kind of a wash as far as farm. It is going to be that Medusa after all.
Yeah, the anti-mage ban feels really peculiar to me, since the Medusa is likely coming out from Team. It feels like they're banning for the enemy more than for themselves. Anti-Mage kind of would have fit the niche of the Medusa, but his 1v5 potential is a lot less, especially when you're dealing up against a Terrorblade. I'm not sure if he would have been able to cut it, so Medusa is going to be a lot more comfortable here. I don't know, it would have been unlikely to see an Anti-Mage on Together We Did It, but it is going to be nice for them. Together We Did It, I'd love to see a Nyx Assassin for them. I think the Mana Burn would be a wonderful tool up against the Medusa, as well as some more control, and another hero to purchase up that Blink Dagger, either following up or setting up for a Tidehunter Ravage.
Yeah, I think Nyx is going to be a fantastic pick for Together We Did It. If nothing else, just being able to provide a little bit more roaming support and buy more space for the Terrorblade in order to get him a little bit more farm. Because with the Terrorblade Medusa, it does look like it's going to be a rather late game heavy focus for both sides. I mean, they're pretty well geared up for the late game with their respective carries, and then there are other heroes as well. So if Together We Did It pick up a heavy core, something like a Viper or something like that, then they could certainly put the pressure on earlier and also have a little bit of late game backup. Although it will be, in fact, be the mag. So it is going to be actually, I want to say, just like identical teams versus each other. They have very similar teams in how they behave. Team a little bit less AoE focused, a little bit more single target with the Scarith Mage, but it's going to be a very solid 4 protect 1 strategy on either end.
Yeah, both of the offlaners are going to offer their structures. Decent amount of teamfight control. The mid laners are going to be rushing towards that Blink Dagger, and the supports are unlikely to be roaming around towards the lanes, so we're in for a bit of a passive first 10 minutes of this game until the Blinks come out on the Magnus and the Brewmaster. I think all of the action is going to be isolated in the respective lanes. Right now on the Radiant side, it is going to be team with I Love LKY on the Medusa. We are going to have 207 playing on the Scarith Mage. Mid, it's going to be Brewmaster by DK, and offlane, it's going to be Coddle as well as Elder Titan. WWD playing on the Coddle, and Elder Titan handled by Guanzo.
And for the Together We Did It side, we got Noobs RS playing the Terrorblade up towards top with Bartlett supporting him as the Lich. Junurla's also going to be supporting as the Disruptor. Taku is going to be handling the mid lane mag, and that leaves Sexy Bambo on the Tidehunter. I just saw this guy in a different game, and he was on a different team. He's a nomad mercenary, apparently.
Oh no, he pretty much is. He's a dedicated stand-in for now after coming back from Korea. We are going to see TWDI awaiting this early rune spot. Last game they were able to secure both of them, whereas team didn't contest at all. And this game they might be able to do the same. Scarith Mage is there up against Sexy Bambo, but can't really do much to this Tidehunter at the time being. So it looks like it is going to be Together We Did It securing their early rune as well as their ward.
And away we
Proposition,
go.
calling the Dire 2D.
2D. This is acceptable. Proposition
good.
accepted.
Good. It passes council. We're good.
Be good.
All right, because, teams are supposed to have nice, easy to pronounce names, and that is what makes it convenient for us. So we're going to do that. It is looking like it's going to be, the most predictable of lanes, maybe with the exception of Medusa soloing bot. Versus the Tidehunter, this is not the worst lane for Medusa, but I don't expect her to get that much.
Yeah, I think that the Scarith Mage eventually is going to drop down there, pump a couple of Arcane Bolts in the Tidehunter after this Invis wears off. But maybe they just go full on aggressive, and they find Tunurla. The Sentry Wards drop down on the ground, and Tunurla is going to spot out the sky and drop a Thunderstrike on him for good measure. So just a little bit of traded harass. The Sentry isn't going to net them a D ward on this ward, actually just on the boundary.
That's so freaking close, and they're going to be so happy about this. They're going to actually drop a Sentry Ward of their own. Maybe they didn't know that the Sentry is out of range of the Observer. They might have an inkling, but for right now, that Sentry that the Radiant just placed, much like the Dire Sentry, is going to be a complete waste. So one Sentry wasted on either side, and they're just going to have to accept and absorb that loss. But because the Medusa is being left on the bottom lane, for now, Solo might be getting a little bit help later. Actually, she is right away from the Scarith Mage. It is going to leave a dual lane up towards top. Elder Titan and Keeper of the Light. Now, as far as combos go, this is not going to be a really kill-heavy dual lane. Like, they actually just can't get kills at all unless 2D completely mess up. But with Chakra Magic and Astral Spirit, it's just so much harassment.
Definitely. Being able to spam out the Astral Spirit is pretty much Elder Titan's dream. And then also, not to mention the Illuminate spam coming out from the Keeper of the Light. as you said, they shouldn't die unless they're way out of line. Maybe if they catch out the Disruptor in an awkward corner and able to get the right clicks off after the Astral Spirit, maybe they can get that kill, but still fairly unlikely. The secondary ward is going to be held again by 2D, and it's going to be secured for Taco. He doesn't, or Taku, oh my goodness. He doesn't have his bottle, but is going to be salved and clarity'd up to sustain through this lane. Currently, it's Brewmaster flexing his muscles in mid.
And it's to be expected that Brewmaster is going to have a slightly better time. He does, typically have a better time because of those crits. And if he gets close to the lane Taku, then he's going to take a clap and then a whole bunch more right clicks. So it's to be expected, although the mag is going to equalize the lane in a little while once he gets a couple more points in Shockwave. Actually, a pretty good. Oh, Bartlett getting way too close to the Elder Titan. What are you doing there, Lich? He's going to hit with a very short-channeled Illuminate, but that will be enough to kill him off. Now the Metamorphosis from Noobs R Us going to try to fight with Guanzo. He will be able enough to get the kill. And now they're going to turn on to the Keeper of the Light. Going to try to kill off Tunurla. He will do so for a double kill for him, but Terrorblade also collects 101. First Blood did go to the team side, but Terrorblade collecting at the end. It's going to favor team a little bit, but overall it should be fairly even.
Yeah, if you look at the gold change, it's actually identical or near identical for both sides, and considering who got the gold on either side of the map, I'd rather be 2D in that situation. Terrorblade with Metamorphosis does a ridiculous amount of damage, and all First Blood is going to be nice to secure them a Flying Courier at 3 minutes, or whenever WWD gets that gold. He also lost a decent amount by dying, and since they were at an advantage, it's going to give quite a bit to the Terrorblade. TP is going to be taking the end of an Astral Spirit into the face, and he's completely out of regen, so Noobs R Us needs to be careful. That started out with a very awkward position in these two supports. In mid, DK is, I don't know, just trading nukes with the Magnus. Not much more to talk about there. He was dropping fairly low, but no skewers into the tower, anything of the likes. Haste Rune on Brewmaster should keep him safe.
Yeah, maybe you're able to burst him down if Brewmaster's this low and you get the skewer, but really that shouldn't be happening over towards mid. An RP is going to open the door for kills, as will a split, but those heroes are currently not available for that. They're going to glimpse DK very far back towards lane, but he has a haste rune still, so suddenly he's going to contest the rune, which is going to be grabbed by the Brewmaster. Now he's going to try to go for a kill onto Taku. He's going to skewer the Brewmaster and actually get himself out of the Illuminate at the same time. Don't know if that was intentional. It actually might have been since they had an Observer Ward there. Yet still DK is chasing forward. He's going to get Shockwave. Bartlett's taking quite a bit of damage, and the clap will kill him off. Now the Brewmaster is going to use the rest of that haste rune to escape. Man, haste rune is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Definitely. Brewmaster making the most out of it from the second he popped it to the second it timed out. Going to survive, he is sans rune for now, but a double damage in bottom is going to fill up his bottle as well as give him a little bit of boost for the next couple of seconds. So it's a win for TTT, although it's a 1-for-1 trade. Skywrath Mage is fighting up against Sexy Bamboo and can't really take this engagement comfortably, although enough mana on the Skywrath Mage is going to keep the Tidehunter at arm's length. Although the early portions of the game for the Medusa, mostly just the first two waves up against Tidehunter, weren't great, after the fact, the Medusas had pretty much unobstructed farm. Now Aquila finished 21-4.
Yeah, Tide is having to deal with the Skywrath Mage harassment, and Skywrath Mage is a hero that is inherently fast, so he's able to keep his distance from the Tidehunter. Although unless this happens, they're going to find him Gush. A skewer into a Shockwave. Even if the skewer doesn't land, we'll get the kill. Or you can just Shockwave. That's good too. Poke him. There we go.
Yep, they got the poke, and Magnus is going to secure the kill in the Skywrath Mage. Kill score's 3-4. It's not a super big victory for 2D, however. It's going to be nice experience more than anything else. I'm not sure if that was entirely necessary. If they had level 6, they could have hoped to go for the Medusa, but now Tidehunter does have Ravage available. In mid, they are leaving the Brewmaster, however, completely unchecked, so we'll enjoy a couple of waves of free farm.
And really, I think this game is going to be decided first. Like, the first deciding factor is going to be who gets Blink Daggers on what heroes first. Like, the Mag and the Tidehunter are going to be deciding that for 2D, and then for the TT team side, Brewmaster, of course, is going to be getting the Blink Dagger for himself. They're going to go for Taku over towards mid. He's going to walk way too far in. He has a skewer, and he will get himself off to a safe distance. The rock wasn't thrown, and now Taku, he's going to grab an Invis Rune. That might be his escape. Oh, no, he will go down.
Immolation Aura plus the Arcane Bolt is going to be enough to do him in. It would have been close. I don't know. You can't disjoint those things, however. It's unfortunate for him. I don't know, had that come a little bit faster, maybe he would have survived. The Cuddle, in the meantime, dies up in top. I didn't see how that went down, but I assume it was just a glimpse, and nukes coming up from Bartlett able to chase him down. The Lich is completely out of mana now, so I assume that's how it happened, as Noobs R Us also popped the Metamorphosis for it.
Well, they're going to find Keeper of the Light one more time. Glimpse, it's available in 3 mana. However, Tunurla's dying very quickly. He's going to try to run from Guanzo, but so much damage on this Elder Titan. He's going to hit Noobzarus twice to get the kill. There's once. Does he have a second? The jukes from Terrorblade? No, it's not going to be needed because Guanzo's going to get the spirit kill, and now Bartlett is being chased down by a very angry Staple Man. It's not going to be enough to get the kill, but still, the Elder Titan collecting some serious gold up on top lane. That natural order plus the spirit damage, the combo is legit. Now Bambo on bottom lane. He's already used the Ravage. He's going to walk right into a silence. Lots of magic damage as well. He's going to get unsilenced immediately. Now throw a gush towards the Scarlet Mage. But here, Taku's going to come in from the side. Does not have enough mana for a Skewer. He needs 2 more mana for that. Skewer will land and kill off the Medusa most likely, unless he just completely whiffs. That could happen too. Now Sexy Bambo's trapped in a corner. He is going to go down. Can he buy anything before he dies? I think he wants Arcane Boots, so unfortunately he will not be able to buy out.
Yeah, he has actually Tranquils, so I don't know, maybe just saving up for the Blink, maybe Soul Ring, something along those lines, just nothing that he could actually purchase there. Magnus, he's been roaming very heavily, and now he has this level 6, but it's going to be a Blink Dagger coming faster on the Brewmaster, as he's been sitting comfortably in lane and almost has that item completed after coming down bottom to show his face.
Yeah, and that's going to be one of the big turning points for Team as 2D. They have nowhere near a Blink Dagger on Tide. He's actually just finished up his Tranquil Boots, so he's even further away. And for Mag, he has no gold. He's picked up Arcane Boots for himself, so it's going to be Blink Dagger advantage for Team, and Guanzo's going to run straight to Noobzarus. Sunder is there, but I don't know if Noobzarus really wants to fight this one. The returns of the Spirit's going to give Elder Titan plus 100 damage, and a couple of punches is going to kill off the Terrorblade. Bartlett thinking about going in, but this is not a fight he wants to take. Even though a Frost Blast, I don't know if it's going to be lethal. It's going to be very close. If Guanzo punches Bartlett just once, then that could be the kill. Frost Blast used, and then the punches are going to commence. 2D, they're just way too aggressive right now. Tunerla's going to try to get this kill, has a glimpse, but Guanzo is going to turn around and punch Tunerla a little bit more. Magic Stick, he's going to go down in the end. Can the Keeper actually kill off this Disruptor? It's going to be very close. It's actually going to be pretty easy for him if Tunerla doesn't just leave. You will get this short glimpse, but one more hit. There it is. Centaurs are not going to be denying anyone today. That's 11-7, and Team, they're actually doing remarkably well on this top lane, considering the number disadvantage.
Yeah, definitely. TTT, they're going to get that Blink Dagger available for the Brewmaster, and I don't know, it's just looking really good for them in the laning phase. We saw this last game as well, where it just felt like TTT's laning rotations, as well as just their mechanics, felt a little bit stronger, although not surprisingly so, or in a huge manner. We are going to see the Terrorblade go into the Quelling Blade, and it's going to be mostly just farm time for him, but everybody on the side of TTT are getting more than their counterparts on the other side of the map.
It might not be for very long, however. Mag and Tidehunter diving deep, gonna set up a Ravage onto 2, and the 2-man Skewer RP. Already the Static Storm is down. That's 3 ultimates, and those 2 heroes did not stand a chance. That was a way more commitment than they really needed to make, but hey, they made sure that there was no teleportation support from Team.
Yeah, they're showing the power of their AoE teamfight combo, and it is very powerful when you're able to catch everybody that was there inside a Ravage RP and keeping them inside the Static Storm to boot. There's not really a way that they can survive through that. Elder Titan in the meantime gets a tower up in top. I think that's pretty much just going to be traded for the one down in bottom, as there's not really a huge chance for Team to contest against this. 4 heroes from 2D have been committed, and they'll be able to get the tower out of it.
And at the same time, 2D are going to have their Terrorblade start working on the mid lane tower. Not quite enough damage to kill that off. Only 2 points in the Conjure image, and he actually doesn't really have anything else as far as items are concerned. So it will be a tower for tower trade, and that's going to help 2D a lot in trying to get their Blink Daggers up. Their 2 blinkers, Mag and Tide, are still very far away from that, and as far as for Team, really their item progression for most of their heroes, like the Keeper Light, his item progression, for the most part, doesn't really matter. Scarith Mage, maybe he gets Arcane Boots or something like that, again, doesn't really matter. Same thing for the Elder Titan, might be getting a mech or something, but nothing that has a monstrous impact, at least not within the foreseeable future. So the items, the trades, are going to be benefiting 2D just because they're heroes. Taku's going to run into a whole bunch of angry heroes, though. That's not where you want to be. There is, in fact, a Sentry Ward there, and now Mag is going to know that.
Yeah, it's a terrible way to find it out. That Sentry Ward did its job and spots out the Invis Magnus. They did have vision of that Invis rune being picked up. I'm not sure when that Sentry was dropped. It was dropped fairly quickly after Mag picked it up, so I don't know, good sense coming out from Team as they're able to find themselves the kill, and now presumably into the tier 1 tower they're going to go, and I don't think the 2D are going to be able to contest this. Disruptor's in a bit of an awkward situation, but Tunerla isn't going to be able to be pursued by anybody. Across the map, they're not really getting any trades either. The Terrorblade is currently at his tower. They're going to TP back in with the Tidehunter. Magnus does have his RP, although no Tide Ravage for 20.
even though RP is a good skill, I don't really think 2D can actually afford to fight this without their Ravage. I don't think they're going to have to fight this without their Ravage, but still, it's going to work out in their favor. They were forced to rotate a whole bunch of heroes in. That's obviously what happened, but and at the end of the day, they're going to be happy unless they get initiated upon. DK is going to get the clap, Skewer out instantly by Taku, but he's going to get mana leaked first. That means most of his mana is down the tubes. Now the Illuminate to fly through, amplified by the Seal, is going to kill him off in a hurry. Everyone else from 2D, though, has made their escape. That is Split being used for only one kill, and 2D can conceivably make a defense even without their mag. It's going to be close, and it's probably going to be a little bit too risky for their liking, although Bambo wants in. Ravage is going to connect onto 3 heroes. Static Storm going to land onto DK. Glimpse back will put him back into the storm. However, the tower's focusing DK, and it will be enough to bring him down. Now Guanzo wants in onto Nerla. The kinetic field is going to go up, but Guanzo's going to instead try to hide in the corner, and it's going to be his demise as Tidehunter Anchor Smash does pick him off. Nerla will survive that as well, and 2D, as promised, they take a fight without the mag, and it comes out very much so in their favor.
Yeah, and also, in the meantime, Terrorblade finds himself a solo kill on the Scarth Mage. Didn't see how that went down, but Metamorphosis damage is definitely something to be feared, and they pull together that defense, and now put a little bit of pressure of their own down in mid. Terrorblade's going to find himself a double damage rune as well, which, quite honestly, is ridiculous at this point in the game. An extra 177 damage is, I don't know, balanced.
Yeah, it seems balanced to me. I don't know if you lose that damage when you unmetamorph.
I
don't think you do.
Oh, I kind of wish you picked it up now so I could find out. I'm pretty sure you do. I think it updates. Like when you tread switch.
Oh, right.
I would figure it would be the same.
Okay, well, that would be pretty silly if it wasn't. That used to be an old Dota mechanic, Dota 1, that made no sense when you were ranged and you switched to melee. Stuff like that would cause the game to break, and it would be fun to abuse that, but unfortunately, all of that is fixed now, so everyone knows what's going on. Tidehunter has picked up his Blink Dagger. He's been clearing out a couple of these ancient stacks, and he's going to get roughed up pretty bad, but now that Blink Dagger is available, Ravage is going to be up in a minute, and Mag, his Blink Dagger is really far away, actually. Taku dying 3 times this game, certainly not helping his case, and now the smoke up as Team they're on the hunt, and they're going to find an illusion. No, Noobs R Us is actually here as well. Concussive Shot is going to kill him off, and you rarely see Concussive Shots doing the damage, but hell, DK did most of the work there.
Yeah. Terrorblade, he wasn't silenced or anything. There was hope to get off the Sunder, but honestly, turn rate would have been enough. Terrorblade is a very squishy hero with just a Yasha and also not morphed to Strength Treads. He's at sub 1000 HP by quite a bit. Blink Clap crit is almost enough to do him in. Any setup or follow-up after the fact is going to be enough, as we just saw. And there's not really anything you can do to counteract that. Illusion Rune is going to spawn down in top, and that's going to be picked up by DK. As potentially TTT are going to make their move on mid this time. They're going to be in Ravage as well as RP again. Maybe they'll exercise a little bit of caution, but I think they're going to be able to take this.
Yeah, they have a split, and 2D, they have a Static Storm as really their only non-ultimate, or I guess that is an ultimate. So they have Static Storm, Ravage, and the RP in order to cancel off that split. It has to be perfect, though. Ravage is going to connect onto 3. Now the Anchor Smash onto 2, as well as the RP with the Connect Field. That's 2 down instant. The Earth Splitter does fly out. It's going to hit a lot of people, but I don't think it's going to do enough. Now Guanzo stuck in the Connect Field is going to be very quickly brought down, although the Light is going to buy him a little bit of time. He gets glimpsed right back in. And now he's going to be walked down. Shockwave, I think, missed. But I don't think it really matters since Guanzo's going to be going down in the end regardless. This Tidehunter Blink Dagger was huge. And he's now going to chase forward for the Keeper of the Light, who has bought back. And if he dies right now, that'll feel pretty embarrassing by him. Is he going to get blocked by his own creeps? Not quite. He's going to get another Blinding Light out. Now the Mana Leak onto the Tide. Where the hell is the rest of Tide's team? Does he really still want to chase this one? Keeper is hiding. Blink forward from Tide, completely jumping the gun, but Tunurla's going to find the Keeper, and that's going to be everyone else from TTT going down as 2D don't lose a single hero, although Taku over in the mid lane might die to the rock, and he will. Split finally being used. Brewmaster going to pursue out for the Terrorblade, but this is a full health hero. I don't think the Brew has enough of what it takes, and he has support coming in as well as Terrorblade, so Brew is going to use a split just to get one kill, and really, initiation power is determining the game. Again, as promised, DK is going to get glimpsed right back into Tunurla. Tunurla's going to wish he didn't do that, because now he's dead. Or wait. Now he's dead. He got delivered a mech, though. Did he have enough mana for that? That could have been really clutch.
I don't think he had the mana for it. He spent most of it on the glimpse back into his death. He got crit twice in a row, one of those being guaranteed, but still, that's not a comfortable place to be in if you're a disruptor, so I don't know, just a questionable play coming out. Every once in a while it happens where you just get the awkward glimpses. Tier 1 tower in mid is going to drop below deny range. I expect that to be taken out. Stomp lands on the Sexy Bambo, but there's no follow-up for it. The teamfight ultimates coming out from 2D are just too much for TTT to fight into. I think that's going to maintain the case for the majority of this game. Meanwhile, in Medusa land, she's been playing PvE for the majority of this game. 0, 1, and 2, and 160s onto this Medusa. She's getting farmed, but it's still not enough. Finally, the Blink Dagger is available for the Magnus. Now with double blinks, whenever 2D have these ultimates, they can go aggressively. Like TTT are doing now, DK, with the Invis rune, is going to scout up, but the stop misses.
Yeah, this is just the draft power from 2D mostly showing its strength. Like, this is what happens when you pick up this many teamfight ultimates. Chain Frost wasn't even a large impact. I don't think it bounced up too many times, but the Static Storm being set up with a Ravage and an RP, like, 2D just chose more AoE teamfight ultimates, and right now the Keeper of the Light is making himself a little bit awkward right now, has gone for Mana Leak as his priority, which means that he's going to be doing even less damage. I mean, certainly Mana Leak is very annoying. It gets a pretty nice stun if you manage to push them back, but they don't really have many displacement skills aside from that Blinding Light. So for right now, the draft from 2D is just carrying them a little bit further, because the Keeper of the Light is, for the most part, dead weight.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Although I like Mana Leak as a spell, I think right now the value point is enough, and prioritizing the Illuminate or the Chakra Magic might have been nicer, but then again, they don't really have anything to abuse that either. They don't really need the extra counter push coming out from Illuminate, and the extra mana eventually is going to be useful for the Medusa, but not until she has, I don't know, more items to where she can actually abuse that extra uptime on her auto attacks, because right now, a Medusa that's hitting for like 98 damage with split shot is pretty much ignorable from 2D.
I guess what's going well for Team is the fact that their Medusa has not invested any points into Mystic Snake and is not being punished because of it. I mean, it's bad if you invest none into Mystic Snake and you're punished, or if you're just, sitting there with Mystic Snake and you're still fighting, that's okay, but this is pretty much the ideal place for a Medusa on paper, with no pressure and the ideal skill build for just AFK farming. That being said, she's still not ahead of the Terrorblade, who has been fighting quite a bit from 2D, and if your Medusa isn't leading the farm chart with this farm-heavy build, with leaving the rest of the team to fight 4v5, then is she really pulling her weight? For right now, the answer is no, but she really needs to take giant leaps in farm in order to make this worthwhile for the team.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's going to be a point where Medusa feels comfortable with the farm she has. As long as Terrorblade's neck and neck, both of them are going to get their Mantis Cells at pretty similar timings. I don't know, just a little bit of deviation because of the intermediate items that they went for. But yeah, she wants to be like thinking about getting her next item at this point and being on top of the Terrorblade in farm. When she's behind, the initiation power coming out from 2D just seems a little bit too strong for them to overcome. Right now, TTT, it's time for them to wait until they can find a pickoff or until Medusa gets farmed, and I think they're going to be playing passively because of it. There's not really anything left for them to push. All the tier 1 towers down in this game are down in this game, with the exception being the tier 1 tower up and top on Radiant.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little bit difficult for Team to make those clean pickoffs without using the split. Maybe if they get a Thunderclap into a Mystic Flare, they'll be able to get a kill, but that's pretty much the only setup they have for this Flare, which we haven't seen so far being too influential. Even though the Skywrath Mage has a pretty decent score, I mean, 5 kills to his name, he has been doing a lot of damage in these fights. The Mystic Flare setup just isn't there, and that's once again going back to the Keeper of the Light. He's going to get better later on, Keeper. I mean, the pushing from 2D is none too great, so not in the Illuminate sense, but in the mobility, the utility sense with Recall, and the Mana Leak on the Medusa, the Keeper is going to show his value, but for right now, Team, they need another hero to really set things up. How different would this be if the Keeper of the Light was a Rubik or a Venge, or I think actually Rubik would probably be ideal in this case, but
yeah,
it would be huge for them.
Definitely. Or even the Elder Titan. Although his aura is nice, maybe something that sets things up like a Centaur would have been nice for them. I think you just interchange one of these passive heroes to give TTT a way to take fights on their own terms. Right now, they just can't really find those openings, unless 2D give it to them, which is a definite possibility. If they're able to capitalize on a couple of mispositionings, most notably on the Terrorblade, or maybe on just the supports, they could find themselves in a better position this game. Right now, it's 2D with the momentum, although this isn't going to carry them through the game, and our net worth graph is almost zeroed out. It's fairly close.
All right, so as far as this game is going to play out in the future, the 2D side have all of their teamfight ultimates up. They could go for this top tier 1 tower, and I think they probably should, as Team will be more or less unwilling to make the defense there. I mean, even though they do have Keeper of the Light, technically they should be able to defend, but only 1 level Illuminate is not too threatening. So for 2D, they should be looking to use these ultimates. They don't even need Terrorblade there, and that's why the tier 1 tower right now should be the target. Although they are smoked up on a couple of their heroes, Mag, Disruptor, Lich, and they're looking towards the south. They want the Medusa, and that's also pretty good. I would say it's even better to shut down the Medusa. If you catch her with a skewer or an RP, she is going to die, and, well, they don't have a smoke on Bamboo, so they can't chase forward with everyone, and the smoke is actually running out, so this is going to be completely revealed. They're not going to get her.
Yep, and it's going to be shipped faster than light. Smoke coming out from TTT is also going to net them nothing. Both teams committing 3 heroes into smoke. Pretty even trade. I think the difference is that Medusa's farming during this, and Terrorblade's just sitting on the back line. So slight win for TTT, although only slight. Not really much of a difference at all. They're going to throw a couple of pings in mid. It's fairly interesting to see both of these teams posturing as aggressively. Ravage going to commit solo on Guanzo. They find him, and they should be able to kill him, following up with the Shockwave as well as Skewer. He's going to get off Stomp, and potentially make his escape. One auto attack, and Thunderstrike should be able to do him in. But now the jump in from DK gets a 3-man clap. The silences come out fast enough from the, excuse me, Disruptor. And now he's going to start focusing down Bartlett. His minions are being brought down by these Terrorblade illusions very quickly. Losing the Wind one. Will he lose the Earth beforehand? There is a little bit of body blocking, but it's not going to be very effective coming in from Taku. And he is going to come back into his original form, the Brewmaster, looking for the blink out potentially. The ultimate coming out from Medusa from the low ground is going to slow down everybody's turn rate and looking for just a little bit more damage. Freezing Taku as well as Sexy Bamboo into stone. They're going to pull back to Neuraliz. The Split Earth lands onto the, excuse me, Terrorblade. Buyback from the Skywrath and one more punch from the Mighty Staple Gun. RP on the backline is going to catch it to BWD as well. As the Medusa, and they're going to be able to bring down the Medusa. They just need a little bit more damage. Will they have it? No! Guanzo is able to punch down everybody before they clean that up, and now Sexy Bamboo able to get the Anchor Smash off of Guanzo, escaping on the backlines with very little HP, is going to survive. Silence on the Sexy Bamboo. DK is going to lose his life to the Terrorblade, as well as his illusions. He's going to turn back into his normal form after metamorphing. Now we have the Astral Spirit thrown out again by TTT. Everybody's just on so low HP, but I don't think anybody can actually capitalize off of this. Excuse me. Sunder was already spent, and after all is said and done, it's 3 plus a buyback for 4, so fairly even, although going to benefit TTT as they were behind.
And Terrorblade getting to survive, getting a whole bunch of kills, whereas Medusa, though she did survive, she participated, I think, a lot less. I mean, she did a little bit of damage to everyone, got 2 assists out of that, but Terrorblade walked away with an assist and a kill or something like that, and now has his Manta Style completed. Really, the difference in that fight was the Ravages. In the previous fights, the Tidehunter has been landing his Ravages on 3 heroes, I think both times. Suddenly deciding to use it just on an Elder Titan. Obviously, he thought that there were more people there, since that was a rather blind blink, just trying to catch whoever he can. But really, initiating like that is less than ideal, let's say. And if Bamboo had that Ravage held, then they could have easily taken a team wipe.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The Elder Titan, I don't think it was necessary to drop the Ravage on him either way to kill. I think just the Blink Skewer would have been able to peel him away. Enough for them to get the solo kill onto him. I think Bamboo is expecting a little bit more there, but as you said, it was pretty much blind. They just now placed this ward. They didn't have that intel previously, and they thought Elder Titan was with backup, but unfortunately for them, they were wrong. And it's going to cost them not really a full team fight. It's still fairly even. Terrorblade getting a lot of that gold is going to be really nice for them. But it could have gone a lot better, and in that sense, TTT are going to be happy with how it went.
But are they going to be happy now? Because now the push is going to come. This is level 4 Metamorphosis, level 4 Illusions. The Stomp is going to slow everyone down, and the Illuminate's going to thin the creep wave. They're going to get the Kinetic Field and the Ravage onto 2. With the Medusa trapped in there, she's going to slip away for now. The Ravage has already been used, and it really didn't do that much. Noobs are us looking for a Sunder target, but he can't find anyone. Janela's going to be chased down, but everyone from 2D is so far surviving. Noobs are us really needs a Sunder target right now. But again, the Brewmaster is not Sunderable when he's in the split form. Another Shockwave going to come out. It's going to be Bartlett to take a fall maybe first. No. Everyone's still alive for now as DK does return to his main form. Tunurla taking a lot of damage. Doesn't have any mana, doesn't have any health. He's going to be going down first. Now Noobs R Us wants to get the Sunder onto Guanzo. He will do it, and the damage onto this Eltine is huge. Now the Chain Frost onto the Medusa, bouncing forth between the creeps as well. Medusa's going to take a fall here, and that is going to make this a very nice victory for 2D. Taku's not going to go down in the back line. Keeper of the Light's dropping pretty low. Bamboo jumping forward for a gush. Needs one more smack with his anchor. Is going to kill the Keeper of the Light, and the tower drops. That was a 4-for-1 plus a tower. That's the difference between a Ravage on 1 and a Ravage on 2. Huge difference, night and day.
Yeah, it wasn't chained as beautifully as the first couple of Ravages as far as the RP follow-up and the Static Storm. The Static Storm was the weak link in that AoE combo for them. Everybody was pretty much able to walk out of it and did very little in that response, but still, opening up the fight that way was perfect for 2D, and although a lot of their heroes dropped low, the chasing power coming out from TTT after the Brewmaster is dead is very limited. They're not very mobile heroes. That's not only going to be one tower going the way of 2D, it's going to be two, as Terrorblade still had the remnants of some Metamorphosis as well as some illusions to back him up. It's going to be a very easy tower for them to take.
And suddenly Terrorblade has his Manta style completed and is packing another ultimate orb. Whereas conversely, the Medusa, she hasn't actually chosen to complete her Manta. She could have, she still can, but she's instead going to go for the point booster and maybe just hold on to the Yasha and turn this into an Eye of Scotty. They're both good items on Medusa, but this is just Medusa being played as greedily as you can. Like, you're not completing any of your items. You're going to try to go straight for 6 slots. If it goes unpunished, then fine, but if they keep fighting like that, then she's going to wish that she had something in order to give her a little bit more contributions to those fights.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Although, I'm still kind of torn. I think that Scotty is going to be more beneficial to her than the Manta. For the Terrorblade, getting out of the silence from the Skywrath Mage is going to be really nice utility to have from the Manta split, and his illusions right now are going to be hitting a lot harder than the Medusa. Medusa, I don't know, I think it's an okay choice, but as you said, it definitely can be punished by 2D in the next couple of fights. The fighting potential from 2D is back online as soon as they refill up on mana, and Tidehunter is working now towards a Refresher Orb.
Alright, so Ravage on 1 and 2 heroes, we saw the difference there. If you imagine the difference between 2 and 4, that's going to be incredible. So once he gets a full mana pool, he has his ultimate online, as does everyone else on 2D. Lich is going to have his cooldown by the time they need it. And Terrorblade, with the 2 ultimate orbs and the Manta style, he's actually remarkably tanky right now. He's going to lose a lot of his armor for sure, but he still has plus 12 right now, given the Ring of Aquila and the ice armor. So he's still fairly durable. And Team Team, they don't really have that much burst damage outside of the Mystic Flare in order to kill him off, but we haven't been seeing that. Skywrath Mage, I don't think, has thrown a Mystic Flare on the Terrorblade a single time. So TB is going to be fine to just keep on pushing this one out with his illusions and having the rest of his team wait in backup. Sexy Bamboo is going to jump in for a Ravage, going to connect onto the Deuce and Keeper of the Light just like last time. Now an RP onto both of them. Where's the Static Storm? They're going to skewer them right back. No Static Storm needed. They don't have buyback. The Keeper of the Light actually does, but easy initiation from 2D, and now it's going to be a tower as well, with Taku still looking for potentially an opening. He has no skewer though, so he can't find it, but still, it's a free tower, plus 2 kills, and a forced buyback for 2D. As they do jump forward, Taku is going to get silenced, but he doesn't actually cast anything, so that's fine, although he's dropping very low. Will get mech'd up. Now DK going to jump right in. Going to try to go for Taku. Mystic Flare is going to wake him up, and it will kill him off. Now the Earth Splitter going to connect onto no one as Terrorblade is thrown up into the air. Tunerla going to cover his own retreat, but now Noobs fighting up against way too many heroes. Guanzo's going to get sundered, however, and suddenly Noobs back at almost full HP. His mischance, though, is going to make it so that killing Guanzo is going to be hard, but not impossible. He will get that kill. Another Static Storm from Tunerla is going to completely whiff, but they're going to chase down the Skywrath Mage regardless. Anchor Smash is there. Noobs still taking damage, is going to barely survive. No, the Illuminate is going to come through. Level 3 will get the kill there. That's a 3 for 3 and 2D. They should be looking to back off right now, though Bambo's sticking around. Has Tunerla to help him, but this is not a fight that the Tidehunter really wants to take right now, I don't think. He's taking an awful lot of damage from this Brewmaster. It will get everyone out alive as the Muta is coming in. Bambo, you have to leave, like, right now. If you get tagged with this Eye of Scotty once, you're doomed. He's going to be fine. Everyone disengages, and 2D, well, maybe they just stuck around for a little bit too long.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The Terrorblade didn't have to remain there. He's going to have enough gold to finish up his Scotty as well, and didn't lose that much in the last engagement. It's a net loss of 25 gold, but it's still a win for TTT, especially for the Keeper of Light, who ends that monster kill streak. Manaleek in mid is going to stun up Sexy Bamboo for 3 seconds, and going to stop any pursuit that the Tidehunter would have had onto that Keeper of the Light. Sexy Bamboo feels really confident on this Tidehunter, maybe in situations that he shouldn't be, but he's making it work for now. Silenced up by the Skywrath Mage, going to need a little bit more harass, but that's all it's going to be.
Yeah, lots of damage from those Arcane Bolts that is finally maxed out, but really, 2D, they take a decent enough team fight. Unfortunately, their Terrorblade did go down, but still he's holding on to so much net worth right now, and it will be even more difficult to bring him down in the future. Assuming this Disruptor gets a decent Static Storm and they kill off the Brewmaster, then they'll be in a much better position, because right now, these fights are pretty much only happening because of DK. If he doesn't get the split off, if he gets stormed, then he's just going to go down, and the rest of Team can't actually follow up on that initiation, because, well, there isn't going to be no initiation, so Brewmaster should be priority number 1 for 2D. As nice as killing off the Medusa is, she's not exactly contributing that much to the fights right now. You could save her until last in the fights.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Focus on the Brewmaster, then maybe the Elder Titan, Skywrath Mage, Coddle, whoever's out of position. Yeah, for now, it's going to be 2D taking a little bit of a back step as they wait for a little bit more mana on their Tidehunter. They're going to be just farming up for the next wave of items. Mantis Style and Scotty completed on the Terrorblade as well as 1,000 gold to boot. Noobs R Us is going to be pretty comfortable here in this game. TTT, they don't really have enough damage to burst them down unless they line up the Skywrath Mage ulti, which, as you said earlier, didn't connect then, and it hasn't connected in the last couple of fights as well. Noobs R Us pops the Metamorphosis, and into the tier 2 tower they're going to push. He does have a Magnus in reserve. The Tidehunter is lagging a little bit behind, but now in position for a Blink Ravage. If there's any defense coming up from TTT, it could be disastrous. They start things off with the Sleep onto Noobs R Us, but that's about all that's going to happen. The Illuminate doesn't even hit.
Bambo is looking for a jump in, but this time he's going to be a little bit more reserved, and he will hold on to it. Maybe they're going to decide to go for Roshan. Unfortunately for them, the illusions of Terrorblade are not too useful at killing off Roshan. They're good at tanking, but that's pretty much it. But still with the Metamorphosis and Gush, they should be able to take it. The question is, can Team punish this? They have a level 1 Earth Splitter, and they have Elder Titan and Roshan Pit, which is generally pretty devastating. And they'll be fighting against a Terrorblade with no Metamorphosis. If they get there fast enough, they can contest. But of course, that's a big if, because they're walking into a Ravage and a Reverse Polarity, and a Chain Frost, and a Static Storm. Lots of big AoE team fights that are pretty much kings of the Roshan Pit. And if Noobs R Us had a little bit of lifesteal, he could solo this one right now. They're really going to be wishing they had some lifesteal right now, but Bambo's going to jump forward looking for DK. They need a Static Storm in order to kill off the Brewmaster, or just an RP. Taku is going to bring him right back to the rest of the team. Where's the Static Storm? He gets the BKB off, and now the Earth Splitter onto Taku. Can he actually do anything with the split, though? The rest of the team is very far away, lagging behind. The Skywrath Mage is, in fact, over in the middle lane. Now, the Spirit is going to be thrown out, dropping everyone's armor by quite a bit, but the Brewmaster is running out of duration right now. Chinurl is going to be targeted to focus. Bambo doesn't have anything else to contribute right now. As another Stomp lands, going to kill off the Disruptor. Bartlett in the back end, looking for a Chain Frost, but he simply can't get it off. Noobs R Us dropping pretty low, but he has a Sunder as well. Taku, he actually uses RP already, so he can't do anything either. It's going to be the Medusa just sitting back and killing off everyone as Noobs R Us tries to chase down the Skywrath Mage. He will make that a 2 for 2. Now Taku and Bambo trying to fight against the Elder Titan and Medusa. Dangerous plays right there. The Mag is going to go down. Now the Tidehunter going to try to deny himself to Roshan, but just really messy initiation from 2D. The Ravage, the RP, it was cute, I guess, but it just didn't work, and they ended up wasting all their ultimates.
And they pretty much wasted it all on a solo Brewmaster who was able to get his BKB off. And now they're going to get Roshan on top of it. As nice as their AoE combo is, if it only lands onto one target that they're not even able to control, it actually doesn't matter. Terrorblade's inside the pit, he has Metamorphosis, he's going to be able to rip through the Coddle in a heartbeat, but now Noobs R Us, he's going to be able to get Sunder off onto Medusa, still man fighting for all he's worth the damage, it's not going to be enough, but the clap from Roshan is going to kill off Medusa. Guanzo's still in the Roche pit, wants to secure this, but he doesn't have a lot of damage either, and he's sustained through this. He's going to try his best, punching through Roshan for all that he's worth. Will he be able to do it? Guanzo! He's gonna die! Roshan gets a double, and now Bartlett wants to go into the Roshan pit. Hopefully he has more success than the previous two contenders for the Roshan prize. It's going to be Aegis going the way of the 2D supports.
10 out of 10. I mean, you don't really have many good options. You can't fall back from there. You just have to kind of try your best, but I think it was pretty clear that he wasn't going to get that. Like, I would be very surprised if he was able to kill it off. Elder Titan is not a Roshan killing hero by any stretch, and well, we certainly saw why. So it is going to be Roshan eventually taken by 2D. Going to give a little more gold and experience just to those two supports. Going to help them out by quite a bit, actually. A level 3 Static Storm is going to be huge, especially when it's Aghanimed, so no BKB is available from the Brew once that happens. And now a Pipe is completed from the Lich. So the gold from Roshan is going to be pretty influential. And, I mean, that's what they wanted in the end, and I guess they got it, even after that terrible team fight.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I don't know. You hardly ever see Roshan get denies, and let alone two in the same engagement. Elder Titan and both Medusa are going to fall to that. It's going to be a Crimson Guard pickup for Guanzo. It's going to stop a decent amount of damage, but it's not going to be enough. The Terrorblade Illusions are going to be chewing through that fairly quickly. It's a nice bit of utility for them, but honestly, the mech probably would have been better. Maybe just Arcane Boots for the Medusa. I don't know. It's a nice item to have.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to be getting on anyone, then Elder Titan is a hero to get it on. It could be picked up after mech, though. I mean, Elder Titan generally takes those aura-heavy Assault Karash, Shiva's types of builds and play that kind of utility role. So in that case, all these items are good, but as far as the order you get them in, this is a pretty late Crimson Guard, 32 minutes in with not many items in between. 8 deaths, of course, is going to be hindering him in his efforts to do so, but still, it's going to be up nonetheless. But there's a pipe and soon to be an Aghanims with the mech already up on Disruptor. Like, 2D have all these big AoE teamfight items and then some.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. I'm curious to see how the chat's going to react to that Roshan fight. I'll have to wait a little bit more. But either way, 2D, they do have all of their cooldowns available, so their teamfight's online. They have an Aegis on the Magnus as well. Even though that last fight for them went so abysmally wrong, because of the way it started out, if they're able to chain together those ultimates on 2 or 3 heroes that aren't BKB'd, it's pretty much a one-team fight by default for them. The Terrorblade is now working with evasion and is going to make it a lot harder for the News to man-fight up against him. Right now, News to us is cleaving through the enemy team. A whole lot of damage coming out from him, and he's going to be hard for them to control up. But I'm not sure if either team is really comfortable in taking those big engagements yet. There's just not a clear opening. The tier 2 towers on the Radiant side are all but gone. And on the Dire side, TTT are in no position to push into those tier 2s, so I think both teams are just going to sit back on their side of the map, maybe invade the enemy jungle for a smoke and a little bit of farm, but that's about it for the next couple of minutes.
I think the item triggers that are going to start this push is, first of all, already picked up by Tunerla. Aghanim, Scepter on a Disruptor is huge, again to deal with the BKB on Brewmaster, which is picked up in order to guarantee usage of Primal Split. Suddenly, it's not going to guarantee usage of Primal Split, and you waste a lot of gold there. So that's going to be a big item to pick up. Of course, the Refresh Orb from Tidehunter is a huge item to pick up as well, but he's a little bit further away from that. Needs another 400 gold. Maybe this Ancient Stack is going to give him enough, actually. So those 2 items are going to give 2D such a huge leap of power compared to what TTT have, because TTT have nothing. I mean, they might get a Manta-style Medusa, but all their other support heroes, all their other heroes are not going to get anything done with this couple of minutes that they have to farm up. So 2D are going to get 2 very important items, and TTT get absolutely nothing. They have all their ultimates ready, and I think this should be time to try to push high ground if you're 2D.
Yeah, Medusa is actually going to forego going for the Manta style completely, and honestly, I don't think she's going to finish it this game. She might, but honestly, in a slide Medusa scenario, other items might be a little bit more appealing. Monkey King Bar, especially since you're dealing with the Butterfly and the Terrorblade, would be a nice eventual pickup for Medusa, but it's going to be a Butterfly for her as well, currently toting the Eagle Song, and we'll have gold to finish that before the Terrorblade does, but then again, Terrorblade, with just the evasion, is now going to go into a Monkey King Bar.
Yeah, Talisman Evasion, if you have a lot of armor or if you have a lot of health, then it does provide you quite a bit of effective HP. Granted, he only has something like 10 armor when the aura comes in from the Elder Titan, so it's not that much, but still, if you're going to be facing up against physical damage from Medusa, then this could help, but I don't think this Talisman Evasion is really going to be carrying its weight this game. Again, the physical damage is only the Medusa, and as important as it is to dodge her attacks, you could just attack someone else and then have her split shot do most of the damage onto your main TB, and in which case, the Talisman does pretty much nothing for you. Regardless, he will have a soon-to-be MKB, and that's going to help him so much. The illusions don't get anything from it, or I guess they get a little bit of attack speed, but that's pretty much it. Wait, no, do they? No, they don't. No. So they get nothing for it, but still, the main hero does a truckload of damage.
Yeah, and that's going to help a man fight up against a Medusa. With a completed Butterfly, it's now going to be more or less completely countered by the physical damage coming out from 2D. It's going to bolster the Medusa's damage output as well, just by the stats coming out from the Butterfly, but it's not enough. Medusa is currently inside her base. The Brewmaster blinks away from a kinetic field. They're not able to lock down this Brew, and for now it's just going to be posturing coming out from 2D. They want to push up high ground, and if they can chain together their ultimates, it's a scary fight that's awaiting TTT.
The only thing that 2D really want to accomplish is shutting down the Brewmaster, forcing out the buyback, which the Brewmaster, fortunately for him, does have. They now have all the tools that they need. They have Refresher Orb, Aghanim, Scepter, and Disruptor, and now an MKB for the Terrorblade. They're not going to get stronger unless they really want to wait for a Refresher Orb mag. That seems like it's going to take just way too long, so they might as well try to go for it, but pushing into a Keeper of the Light, I mean, we haven't seen it that much this game just because 2D haven't been straight pushing that much, but they need a pipe if they're going to go break it, so this is their big chance. They're going to use the pipe. It's not really going to do too much as it's just going to absorb one Illuminate. But now they have the Creep Wave at the front door and a whole ton of illusions starting to chip down at the tower. The Creep Wave is very quickly going to be eaten up, and now you don't have a Creep Wave. And now there's backdoor protection. Skewer back, though. They caught the problem. Can they kill it off? Double Force Staff from to the Radiant. Gonna save the Keeper of the Light for a little while longer, but a glimpse back into a kinetic field. Going to kill off the Keeper of the Light. In the meantime, top lane tower has been brought down. Mid lane tower dropped as well. 2D, they took out one problem hero, the Keeper of the Light. Now they just have to push in for this tower, else they lose tier 3s over in mid as Medusa is pushing that just by herself. They're going to blink forward for a Ravage. Going to catch DK. RP as well as a Chain Frost, Static Storm, and a double Ravage. That's going to kill off the Scarith Mage as well, but suddenly the Brewmaster's back in this fight, and here comes the Medusa. Has Stone Gaze available. His Bambo's completely out of mana. Going to dodge the Earth Splitter, but he's going to get left behind by the rest of his team. Force staff down to the low ground. Actually, he might survive. With a blink out, he's going to live. As he does try to TP, he's going to stick the landing as well. 2D, they force out a whole bunch of buybacks from TTT. They don't take a tower, but they don't lose a tower either. It's going to be a little while before they could push again, but still that push was worth it.
Yeah, I think so as well. The tier 3 tower in mid is going to be dropped about as low as the tier 3 tower down in bottom, so it's still a decent trade for TTT. I don't think either team are going to be super upset with how that went, especially since all of the buybacks were forced out by 2D. It was buyback on the Keeper of Light and the Brewmaster, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. They both bought back, and they're going to try to crack back, but the question is, can they do anything? They're going to pull the Scarith Mage in, the beauty of the Keeper of the Light, of course, and they do still have the split, knowing that 2D don't have any of their big ultimates. This is their big chance to do something, and the tower's already chipped down pretty low due to Medusa. Bambo gonna jump forward just for an anchor smash, and then back off. Suddenly Medusa's hitting like a kitten, and that's not something we really have to worry about, but they are gonna struggle to actually get initiation. Again, they need a minute before Ravage is up, 70 seconds in fact. They'll have a Static Storm, which is going to be huge if they could land it on someone, but RP isn't up, so landing it is going to be difficult. They'll have Shockwave and small amounts of counter push, and, well, I think they've gone over the hump. They got Reverse Polarity. They just have to make sure to hit the Brewmaster with it. They have double Reverse Polarity, in fact. I love he is going to be over to the side as Medusa, working on those range racks. Now the Brewmaster jumps in. He gets Static Storm. Kinetic Field is going to be a little bit mistimed, though. He's going to BKB and split. Now Juno's in a truckload of trouble. They're going to get a 1 RP onto the Medusa. Looking for a second, but Taku is silenced. Bambo's in the middle of everything, but he can't really do much. But Ilucky getting dropped by just the Terrorblade Illusions. Needs a little bit more damage. He's going to live at 70 HP, and Sexy Bambo now in a truckload of trouble. Blink forward from Taku. Blind Shockwave is not going to kill off that Medusa, but it's going to be this Keeper of the Light to fall. As Bambo's still alive somehow, DK is going to be chased down by the Chain Frost. Now it's going to be Guanzo in a lot of trouble. Glimpse back straight into the clutches of everyone on the Dire. The Stomp attempt from Guanzo is going to land on 3. Is he really going to teleport out from this one? He is. In the meantime, Taku really wants this Medusa kill. You can't really blame him. Shockwave, not going to be enough. 30 HP. He has another Blink Dagger soon. Doesn't have mana for an RP. Has another Shockwave, but now the Medusa's going to turn around. Shockwave will kill her off. And now the Scarith Mage. Can he do it? He doesn't have any mana either. He's going to skewer up to the other side. Force Staff is available, but he will get brought down just by a right click of Scarith Mage. 2D, they make a defense, and they have now double Ravage by the time Tidehunter comes up.
Yeah, and they're going to have 1 RP available from the Magnus, although not the double. Once he comes back up, he's almost going to have that about a minute, which will be enough time for them to push down the lanes. It's still going to be a victory for 2D after that very hectic fight, especially after the fact. The initial initiation was already fairly sprawled out and not very clean. The Brewmaster was attempted to be controlled, but the Static Storm completely misses, as does the Scarith Mage. Mystic Flare kind of dropped one on top of each other. DK up top, being brought down by Noobs R Us. There's nothing DK can do, no split, and he can't BKB out of this either. It's just physical damage coming in from Terrorblade to get a solo kill on the Brew.
Haste Rune is still pretty good, guys. Saw the first one in like the first couple of minutes, and the second one over at 40 minutes. It's showing its power. Even though he had Scotty MKB with the mini bash, I don't really think the Haste Rune was that necessary, but hell, he tore through that hero. And with that true strike from the MKB, your Drunken Brawler, your Drunken Haze isn't going to be helping you there, Brewmaster. So that's going to be Terrorblade getting a nice solo kill. Now sitting at 3,400 gold, does have buyback available, and I think Terrorblade at this stage is going to have to save for it. So his Butterfly is going to be close, although delayed by about 1,500 gold because of his buyback. Yet he's still just hitting so hard. Not hard enough to kill off a Medusa with evasion and everything like that. Like, she's pretty tanky with the Eye of Scotty. But still, 2D, they've weathered the storm, and now they're going to try to crack back for themselves. They have double Ravage. They have 1 RP only, but they have everything else. I think 1 RP is all you really need.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and now smoked up the rest of the team, other than the Terrorblade, are going to look to make this push. They don't find a clean opening, but Medusa shows their phase. They want to go for some other heroes, and they're going to swing down towards bottom. The tier 3 tower already taken down fairly low, and with the Metamorphosis as well as the Illusions, it's going to be dropped very quickly. Glyph is going to delay this for a little bit, but 2D are just so confidently running into the enemy base. Terrorblade has not a fear in the world. First Ravage going to come out. It's going to land onto 3. Second Ravage is also going to follow it up. They're going to get the double kill instantly. RP solo onto the Medusa. They can't do anything. Skewer through the static storm. Buyback forced out by the Medusa. It's going to be a nice sleep in the split earth. Going to land onto 3 heroes, but it's not going to be enough to bring them down. And now Medusa is going to get sundered by Noobs R Us, and now Medusa needs to be very careful. She uses the Stone Gaze, but it doesn't stone anybody. They're going to skewer back Medusa and get the RP. The second one comes off of cooldown as refreshers available. Another nice stop from the other Titan. It's going to delay things, but Noobs R Us is focused down the Deuce. The Deuce is down. 60 Bamboo. Mind fighting gets too many heroes as well as the Brewmaster Minnings is probably going to fall. The right clicks aren't going to be enough as he escapes in the backlines. Crimson Guard popped by Guanzo, but it's the barracks that they came for. And it's the barracks that 2D are going to be able to get this now. With the illusion spot by the Terrorblade, he's going to be taking a little bit of a nap in the middle of everything, but there's nothing that TTT can do here, as it's the Brewmaster and Elder Titan solo defending, and this might just be a little bit more. Oh, they're going to try for a second lane. It's a little bit risky as they're going to be fighting up against 4 enemy heroes, but Noobs R Us has not a fear in this world.
Yeah, Elder Titan is pretty good at delaying things with Stomp if those lands. DK is going to jump right in. Mystic Flare is going to do next to nothing to Noobs R Us, who has another Sunder available if he can find the opening for it. Now getting the Butterfly delivered to him mid-fight. Is he baiting? Is he like disconnect baiting? No, he's going to get mana leaked and stunned. Blink forward for a clap.
Oh.
Guys, you should probably help your Terrorblade. That seems like a good plan. Now Bambo, he's silenced up and he's on the run as well. DK is going to give chase, and I think Bambo should be brought down, although he's going to TP out. It looks like he will stick the landing there. 2D, they get one set of Raxes on the bottom lane. I really love how they approach that. Like, before we saw on the bottom lane, they struggled so much to get inside the enemy base, but they just bypassed the Keeper of the Light problem entirely by skipping over a creep wave. Like, they didn't have a creep wave there. They had backdoor protection disabled because of the fact that they went through mid, and there's a creep wave there. So 2D, they take a set of Fraxes. Now they have to worry about the crackback because TTT are coming in. They're coming in hot. There is an RP in 8 seconds. There's no Ravage for another 30. Disruptor's ultimate is up, but now the mid-Raxes are in trouble. Sexy Bambo on the front lines is going to start anchor smashing that down, but he has to worry about his mana pool. Very quickly, it's going to drop due to mana leak. And the anchor smash, nice 3-man skewer, 3-man RP is going to lock them all down, but there's no follow-up. Where the hell is this Disruptor? He's in the back of the base near the Ancient. He has a Static Storm still available. He's going to land a Kinetic Field onto Guanzo. That could have been everyone on TTT dying right there if they had a little more follow-up. But Terrorblade, not up for another 25 seconds. He does have a buyback. He just really doesn't want to use it. But their Raxes are in trouble. I think they're going to have to use it if they want to hold this. Maybe they're going to sacrifice it. Their Ravage is up, and they could blink in to land a 4-man Ravage right now if they wanted to. But it looks like they're going to sack Raxes. That's a hard call to make. But TTT, they're going to crack back pretty damn hard, and suddenly the Rax score is even. Terrorblade, I mean, holding onto your buyback is worthwhile in certain situations if your team can hold the buildings, but they clearly can't.
Yeah, I think it was definitely worthwhile to buy back there. He has most of his slots already filled, and although he'd like to have that 6th item finished, it's more important to have those structures up. It's Defense of the Ancient, not farm 6 slots. Terrorblade, it's a greedy move by him. If the Disruptor was in a better position after that RP, maybe it would have worked out for them, but Tunurla was completely tapped out of mana and had to stay inside the base. What was a beautiful Ravage pretty much only serves to pad Magnus's stats as far as hero Ravages.
Well, Noobs R Us. He's packing a lot of damage, and Roshan has conveniently respawned for the 2D side. Terrorblade can pretty much do this one by himself. 40 armor. He could hit anything that he wants, although it looks like he's going to decide not to do it. They have double Ravage and an RP, double RP in fact. They should be looking for this Roshan pickoff, but they're a little bit scared of it, and I guess at this stage you have to play cautiously, but honestly, Noobs R Us can do this by himself.
Yeah, pretty much. Right now, both teams are posturing around the Roshan pit. Neither one really wants to get into it. 2D are definitely better equipped to taking it themselves, but you're also fighting into an Elder Titan. That Stomp can be very disruptive, as well as a Brewmaster and Medusa inside the pit. They're not without their fighting potential. They're still kind of considering going into it. They don't have Courier for 4 seconds, going to respawn just now. Noobs R Us going up towards the high ground, scouting with illusions. He's going to catch eyes potentially on the Scarth Mage. Illuminate comes through, is going to give away the Coddle's positioning. This illusion is chunking down the Scarth. That's 2 auto attacks and already down 200 health on your Skyrath. That's terrifying when you can have up to 4 of those illusions at a time. That's not even metamorphed. Right now, Terrorblade hitting for just a casual 580 per hit. It's going to be soloing up this Roshan. With Lifesteal or not, he's going to be able to take it.
Yeah, and this is going to be so easy for him. However, he did use Metamorphosis for this one. I think that was completely unnecessary, and Metamorphosis at this point has a much longer cooldown than his quote-unquote regular ultimate in Sunder. So he's going to have to prioritize using his Metamorphosis a lot higher than an ordinary ultimate. Without that, he will be pretty much neutered as far as his damage output. Not the fact that it gives him more damage that's relevant, but the fact that it makes him ranged, that he could actually hit people easily. Regardless, they're going to claim the Aegis and then barrel down the mid lane. Are they going to slide up towards top and pull one of those maneuvers again? It won't be the worst, but now with the pipe up, they're going to have to worry about a split pushing Medusa up towards the top lane. She could plow down through towers very quickly. Not faster than a Terrorblade, though. This tower is gone, and now the racks are soon to follow. The Brewmaster, he's going to have to wait for his jump in. Where is Chunurla? He's still in the middle of everything, but they're going to land double Ravage and a huge RP with Stag Storm. Suddenly, everyone on TTT is dead. Instantly buyback on everyone who has buyback, but the Rax is already down. Medusa is going to travel back to the base to try to make a defense. She has cracked a tier 3, but Judy, they use all of their ultimates. That was all doubles used, in fact. And now they have to just back off. Noobs R Us is going to be held in place, looking for a Sunder. Potentially, he's completely out of mana. It's going to be the Scarith Mage to get Glimpse back as Earth Splitter does fly through. Connect onto Taku. Won't be able to be lethal on anyone. Echo Stomp also going to miss. Noobs R Us is going to get stunned up. He has an Aegis, though. This could be a fight that Chudy actually want to fight, because Terrorblade's going to turn around and tear the Keeper of Light a new one. Now he's going to go for more. DK is going to get a split off, but Noobs R Us wants to use his Aegis right now. That's the goal for Chudy. They're just going to wait till he dies, or just Sunder Bambo, and then have another life. He's going to try to cleave through the Brewlings, and he will almost be able to do it with the Aegis now being used. Where's the rest of the team? They have a Disruptor nearby. He has a Kinetic Field. No, that's actually the Mag. He's going to empower Noobs R Us and then help him in his efforts to 1v3. Here comes DK for a little bit more clapping action, skewering back. Taku's going to buy Noobs R Us a little bit more space, but it's not going to be enough space. He's going to go down as Chunurla does finally arrive for a Kinetic Field, but the BKB on DK, he's going to chase this Disruptor forward, and Chudy, they just have to cleanly disengage this one if they can. Pipe is going to block most of that clap, and now Guanzo's all alone on the front lines. It should be Chudy just back off. No, guys, don't go back in. Back off. They're going to try to go for Guanzo, but they're going to get mostly interrupted by that sleep, and now it's clean TP out. He's going to make it alive. Noobs R Us has actually bought back and traveled back in. That's why they're going back. They've already taken the mid-Raxes. Are they really going to go for more? They don't have any of their ultimates yet. They'll have one RP, but the enemy don't have Medusa. I guess this is a time to go in. If you already bought back with Terrorblade, so I guess you're committed. Can they actually take the base here?
I think so. Even without all of their ultimates available, they still have one RP. In the last fight, the RP, or the second one after the refresher, was completely whiffed. Silence up on Noobs R Us. Can't cut off the Sunder. He's going to be dropped down. That's a dieback on your TB. Static Storm's on the ground, but DK is not going to die through that. But with an RP Skewer, maybe he will. The Skewer is going to miss, and DK is going to survive. Although with all his Chain Frost bouncing through, it is going to be the end of the Brewmaster, and Terrorblade is still living inside of his illusions, going to be putting a lot of damage in those melee barracks, although not enough to take it. And without a TB, they can't really continue going for this. Looking for the cancel on a TP. They're not going to use the Stomp. If he just continued that, it would have canceled a TP. 6 Bambo. Four staff is going to be blinking away as well, barely escaping the likes of the Astral Spirit coming out from the Elder Titan to keep himself alive. But the barracks are held on the side of TTT, and there is still hope. Although their Ancient is completely under breach, they're going to blow up the poor Lich, who stuck around maybe a little bit too long. They need to get these creeps off of the Ancient, but they definitely can't do so. And what could have been disastrous after a Medusa dying without buyback is going to leave TTT hanging on for dear life in this game. One Rax down, they still can come back. Medusa, however, is very low on the gold, and her next item is quite a long ways away.
They do have 56 seconds where the Terrorblade is going to be offline. He himself not having buyback. They're going to charge forward over towards the mid lane. Bambo with double Ravage. Does he really want to go for this one? A double Ravage with double Shivas is going to be enough to straight out kill the Scarith Mage. It's not going to be enough to straight out kill the Elder Titan. However, if he has Disruptor help, he might want to burn it right now just to keep the enemies off their back. He has a Mag coming in as well, and these two supports all alone, actually a third support as the Keeper Light does show his face. Can land a Mana Leak onto Taku, who's going to very patiently sit there. Now Tunella's going to start dueling up with the Skywrath Mage. Mech is going to be committed. Now the Ravage number 1 going to connect onto everyone. Ravage number 2 plus the Skewer forward is going to kill off both of the supports. The Echo Stomp is going to land onto just Tunella's. Guanzo now is in a little bit of trouble. He can turn around and try to fight this. However, with the Anchor Smash, he's not doing that much damage. He's going to try to charge forward for Tunella, but the Connect Field is going to keep him within the confines of those Strength Heroes' reach. 1 RP being used to hold out Guanzo and the right clicks. With the minus armor from Gush, they should have enough to kill off this ET, and they do. The Medusa's over towards the bottom lane, but Terrorblade has respawned, and TTT have only 1 set of Raxes remaining. This is incredibly dangerous for them. The Ravage is not going to be up for another 2 minutes, so they have a lot of time if 2D want to play this safe, or they could just charge forward and try to take the game with Terrorblade. It's going to be up to them. Roshan is not an option, so we might be seeing the end of the game, but if TTT hold out for just 1 more push, then the crack back onto 2D might just spell doom for them.
Yeah, this game lies on a razor's edge. Despite having a significant net worth advantage at this point in the game, it's all about the teamfight execution. 2D, I think they have the easier teamfight to pull off with the amount of ultimates they're rocking with. But still, there's always that chance that TTT are going to catch out that Terrorblade without a buyback. If he's not able to get the Sunder off, it doesn't matter, and they're going to be able to push down the barracks, as well as maybe just the tier 4s into the Ancient if the opportunity arises. It's still anybody's game, although 2D, I think if they just play this passively, are going to be in a wonderful situation. Terrorblade, now completely capped out, opts for a BKB as his last item choice, is going to make him pretty much immune to everything coming out from TTT, with the exception of the Medusa. And with the Monkey King bar on top of his own Butterfly Scotty and Manta style, he'll be able to take out Medusa pretty much by himself.
They're going to push the top lanes very slowly with Tunerla, while the rest of the heroes just apply some passive pressure over towards the mid lane. They're going to send in illusions of everything. Random illusion rune going to be made of the Tide Hunter, as Terrorblade is going to constantly send in 1 illusion at a time just to put small amounts of chip damage on these ranged Raxes, but there's no creep support, so backdoor protection is kicking in and it's blocking most of that until it doesn't, in which case the Rax is almost going to drop just to 1 Terrorblade illusion. They do have the Disruptor who's traveled into this fight, and they're looking for initiation. Ravage timer, it's going to be up in 19, but really, they don't have to commit until then. They can just keep sending illusions in, because TTT are very, very slowly getting their ranged Raxes chipped down.
Yeah, every illusion's pretty much 100 to 200 damage on that ranged barracks, and they can just keep on doing it. Mental pop by the Terrorblade, he's going to send like a antline of illusions, one after another. I don't think there's any way that they're actually able to kill off these illusions in time. They're going to try their darndest, but that's another 100 damage from 1 illusion. The Manta-style illusion's going to come through. That's another 100 damage. And now the third one. It's going to be focused down faster, but it's already down to 200 health. Duty can just rinse and repeat. There's nothing stopping them, except for the cooldown on Manta-style and the Terrorblade illusion.
And they're just waiting for another 15 seconds, so they don't even have to keep doing this, although they probably should just take the range Raxes. Oh, they do take the range Raxes. In fact, I think DK might have even denied that, but it's going to be 1 last rack standing between 2D and potential victory. If they take this and all die in the process, then could be doomed, but DK is going to jump right in, going to get the split. Static Storm going to be completely wasted, but the Brewlings are getting absolutely demolished by the Terrorblade. There's nothing that Brewmaster could do. He's going to die. Now the Ravage is onto everyone. Secondary Ravage coming right up, going to connect to everyone as well. The Medusa's the only one to survive with the Keeper of the Light. Where's the Mag? He's already died, so he's not going to be able to RP, but is that even relevant? Because the Medusa is completely out of mana. Now body blocked by Bambo. Do they have any more follow-up here? Needs another Gush, needs something else. Blink forward, there's the Glimpse back, straight into a Hornet's Nest. Noobs R Us is going to take the kill. Instant buyback from Medusa and the Elder Titan both trying to hold this last Rax as their last stand. I think it's going to be a short-lived one, because Guanzo's going to try to go for Noobs R Us, but he gets sundered, and now Noobs R Us is going to easily kill off the Elder Titan. Anchor smashing in the meantime. Medusa suddenly not doing too much damage. The Keeper of the Light going to try to charge up and illuminate, but 2D, they have to just fall back right now and not lose too many heroes, unless they want Bambo to suicide this, which, I mean, it's Bambo, he might want to do that, but they're going to disengage with everyone else. They're now facing up against Mega Creeps, and as good as Medusa is versus those Megas, they cannot fight Megas plus double Ravage plus double RP. I think this game might be on its last legs.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Even though they have a Medusa, if there's ever a hero that can come back from Mega Creeps, Medusa's one of the ones on the list, up with like Radiance, Naga, and what have you. But it's just going to be GG, called up by WWD. They don't want to delay this anymore. TTT, they are going to lose the second game, and 2D take the series 2-0, although game number 2 looks a lot better for TTT than the game number 1. I think it comes down a lot to the draft. The team fight coming out from 2D was just a little bit too strong for them to handle, and it kicks in at the perfect timings. Even though there's a couple of Ravages and RPs that don't land, when you have refreshers, it doesn't really matter.
And I think it, as you said, going back to the draft, Keeper of the Light, a potential weak link, Elder Titan, a potential weak link, swap those out, play a slightly different style, and I could very easily see TTT taking this game. But 2D, they had all the wombo combos, and it landed very well. With the exception of that one Ravage that only connected onto the Elder Titan, all the other Ravages were pretty much on point, landing several times on, at the very least, 2 heroes. So it was very well played by Together We Did It, and they're going to take, as you said, this series. And that's going to be it for us today.
Yeah, it was a very short notice series, and it's going to be a fairly quick one as well. It is only a best of 2 in the Join Dota League Season 4. If you like the casting you see here, you can follow us on HeflaTV on Twitter and Facebook, as well as here on Twitch on HeflaTV 1, 2, and twitch.tv/HeflaMoke for your English coverage, and youtube.com/HeflaMoke is where you'll be able to find the VODs. They'll be uploaded momentarily after the cast is over, and they should be up pretty quickly. If you do want to share a game with your friends, maybe watch a couple of awesome Ravages again, that's where you'll be able to find it. Or most importantly, I think, is watching Roshan bash 2 heroes down. That's always a lot of fun. Well, thanks for watching, and hope to see you in some future broadcasts. But for now, it's going to be me and Mike Loris signing out.
Later, guys.